All right, all right. Let's go ahead and get right to it. Oh, so much to talk about, but I don't want to get too much into the weeds. But don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. That way you know when I'm online. Um, Long story short, my whole entire computer crashed. So right now I'm on a Mac. I had to hurry up and just buy something to kind of space heat it. So I do apologize for some of my videos. Plus, it's tax season, so I'm trying to get ramped up. Um, so you're gonna be seeing some more posts from me. I just posted one on Google. Let's go ahead and take a look at Google, and let's just make it all make sense real quick. Google without the L. Um, if we look at this as a whole, Google has been pushing up to the upside, and you can kind of see this nice little move here during Liberation Day is what Google is sitting on. Now, this is going to be very, very high risk in itself. The only reason I'm saying that is because you can kind of see the de-dollarization is taking effect. If you don't know what that is, just do a quick YouTube look. The BRICS nations, all that stuff, why gold is moving up, and the whole nine. Well, if we look at the details here, companies like Google that is mainstays, they're not going to go ahead and go anywhere. So if we're taking this as a bull flag, then that means this is our extension. So there's a possibility we could get one more extension here. This is how you get the pole. There's our move. I've taught y'all more than once. You do not go for the whole move. Shout out to Bucky. You go for 50% of the move, which would be about right here, which is about 375. I'm thinking that the first piece or the first domino is probably going to be like a weekly. If it gets to 375, it's icing on the cake. I'm just telling you this right now. It's a possibility, but 350 would be the relative target for the most part. Let's see if we can get there. If we can get there, we can hold that. Then we could probably like fly to the upside, maybe even get to 400. But again, it's a high risk. There's a strong possibility that this can pull back something violent, because if we do this chart like this, it's not something that you want to be in there for a long time. You're here for the good time. So let's see how long we can do that and rotate. What it do, Rod? I see you. I see you. Appreciate you. All right. Let's actually touch on, since we got Rod up in yo, let's touch on gold. Gold is in a very interesting spot too. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of everything there. If we look at this as a whole, they want to take out all that bearish momentum that stepped into here. Could this just be profit taking? Very possible. Could we get a push up to the upside? Very possible. But again, we're traders. We're looking at a game of probability. We look for something that gives us the highest chance of being relatively successful. So if we look at this daily, if you didn't get in here, or at least with what happened yesterday, because it looked like we're putting in a bullish fair value gap, I think we're going to stop about right here. Oh, wrong button. Then bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. All right. Right. I think we're going to stop right about right here. That's what happens when you get a Mac. It's Option J, not Control J or whatever, Command, whatever that crap is. Anyways, moving forward. So if we look at this as a whole, that's as far as we get. So there is some more upside. Yes, there is. But is there a lot of upside for you to go ahead and take it serious and try to play to the upside? Unless you're a scalper or a day trader, I don't think so. Wait for a pullback that's strong enough so it can show you some support, and you should be good to go. Well, actually, before we get even deeper, I forgot. I wanted to check my FX book. My FX book is one of my favorites. I know people use Forex Factory. You use the one that's built in on TradingView, but I like using my FX book. I'm used to it. That's what I learned first. Just checking out the news. So we got ADP employment change. That's going to be releasing in a little bit. We got 49 minutes until that. PMI kicks in a few as well. Hold on, let me sign in so that way I can get the right time zone. I almost said the wrong time. It said 3 o'clock. I know that's not the case. All right, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so we got a 9:20. Well, not 9:20. 9:30. No, I'm wrong. Wrong one. Get out the way. 10 o'clock. ISM PMI services. That's going to affect the market. We got oil inventory kicking in at 10:30, and then it gets real quiet. What's going to really play with us is initial jobless claims that's kicking in next tomorrow, and then that's going to go ahead and kick off the rest of this earnings season. I think a lot of people are waiting for that because non-farm payroll kicks in on Friday. So let's just say everything is a little muted as far as the trades today. It does not mean that we're going to fall or pop. They probably are just waiting for more information. So I would say lean a little bit more towards Friday than the normal Thursday that we usually do week over week. All right, let's get ahead and keep this going. I've been looking at a couple things that they're not ready yet. Actually, I'm not going to do it for my list. Let me just grab it from my phone because I made a note of it. A couple things that is standing out for me. Let's start with Affirm. Affirm is that buy now, pay here, pay later. Buy now, pay here. Buy now, pay later. I'm showing my age. I apologize. Buy now, pay later firm. And if you don't know who they are, they partnered with Amazon, if I'm not mistaken, right? So let's take a nice little look at this. This has been on a little bit of a decline here, especially the move back here in September. They are returning money to shareholders. So I want to talk about something that could be very risky. Let's go over to the weekly. Look at that impact that they just did. We had a nice little drop off over here, and they did not recoup all of it. We got like 2 more days, 3 more days, give or take. They could recover this whole entire thing, and this whole entire conversation ends up being moot, right? We have earnings on Thursday. This could gap right on up. Very possible. I'm leaning in an economy that you could feel the pain a little bit. It seems like we're starting to feel more recession-like, and the de-dollarization, I want to know what that effect happens. So if we look at this, could this be an M pattern on the weekly more so than a recovery at a base? And don't get me wrong, still can create a base, still can push up. But what if we break, which we did break and held for a little bit, we're retracing. Is this retracement for them to take out, at the very least, fair value gap at $53? Look for some $50 puts. I would say try to go to March, try to go to June, just in case this completely dumps. And if it really dumps, we're talking about, that's that August of 2024. This is Liberation Day. A lot of tickers are coming back to Liberation Day. Hold on. Let me just tell y'all that's why I feel like the recession is real. This is NFLX, Netflix. After they split, this was Liberation Day. We're below Liberation Day. And that's Netflix. All right? I'm not saying that the market's bearish. I'm just saying it stinks. Like it's about to shift gears. Okay? So that's Affirm. Let me get y'all another one in itself. IBM. IBM, I would say, is probably even riskier. There's an order block that I'm staring at right here. There's got to be a reason why we're staying right here. Every time it gets up into that $300 mark, it sells off. Then they push it right back at $294 because there's no more sellers. So they're going to go ahead and find where sellers are. And it looks like there's a blockage right here saying we're going to sell anytime it gets a little above 300. If it gets above 324, 325, then the psychological level could kick in. And 350 would be really, really possible. But we should... Yes. Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. They're technically saying that the recession is not here. We're fine. The economy's fine. We're in K-shaped recovery. The rich people are saying we're fine. The poor people are saying I'm struggling. I went and bought groceries for $200 and I walked away with 1 bag. Like it's a divergence somewhere, right? But they keep changing the rules of what a recession is too. So that's another problem. So to answer that, I would say it might not technically be a recession, but there should be some sense of a correction because, again, when we're talking about the indices, look at ES right now. Nothing. This, where's Liberation Day? Liberation Day is over here. So this leg, maybe we come back to here just to go back up. At least something has to give. So yeah, maybe it's going to be very interesting how 2026 pans out. I think there's going to be a lot of people panicking and crying, and then they're going to be like, "Oh my God, this is terrible," and then they're going to start buying up, and that's why IBM looks very interesting to me because if IBM can actually touch 261, which is what I'm kind of like targeting, I think it could get a bounce. That's just fair value gap fills. They don't fill this one, and then we push right back up. Again, good company, they give dividends. Good company, solid EPS. Good company, 19 billion in revenue. I don't think this thing is just going to go ahead and collapse. And they're the originators of AI, but that's a whole nother conversation. All right, I got one more for y'all. Then we'll get up on out of here. If you got any questions, type it in the chat. I'll pull it up and see what makes relative sense. Oh, interesting. Where's my other one? Affirm, IBM, Google. Huh. That's interesting. Eyes are missing one. Maybe I got something marked off wrong. Hold on for a second. Let me try to figure out what I just bloopered on. Yeah, it's NVIDIA. How come the NVIDIA is not showing up? All right, let me go ahead and grab the NVIDIA real quick. I'm going to have to do this manually. NVIDIA, now, I don't want to sound like a bear, all right? But I did draw this channel right here on the video, and I thought it was just going to ping pong, especially being on top of order block. And it's kind of doing that, right? I did play a little bit to the downside to play the momentum, which again, it was more of a day trade in itself, so that way they could go ahead and push up. But if we get a nice little reversal here, they will sweep all this sell side liquidity and push to the upside. If it fails, they're going to tap this one at 169. And that's kind of like what I was kind of looking at in the video. Is in the event that it does fail, we're talking about, let me see. 157 would be really, really aggressive. That would be kind of like right here where this fair value gap is. And then they'll bounce because then they'll catch it off of 151. But nah, I got you. I'll check out open door. But if you look at this, they want 200. They try to hold 200, but it didn't hold 200, and they're looking for friends to get them back to 200. So if they can't find enough friends, they got to go look deeper to find friends, and it might be around that 150 level. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Listen. If you're a company that doesn't return money to shareholders, all right, I'm gonna put this up to the monthly. Oh, geez, I apologize, Rod. I did not try to predict that this would happen. Look at my line. My line was here, and I guess I did it on the weekly. It must have been the weekly because it looked like it's flush here. So that was this off of here, and can it continue to here? And it looks like that January held that down off of, what is that, a fair value gap? What type of fair value gap did I mark here? That's monthly. That's 3 months. Six month? Nope, not even. 1 year fair value gap? Yep, 1 year fair value gap. So we're testing a 1 year fair value gap. And I won't say close the door, but I think somebody's got their foot right at the, trying to hold it open while they got a horde of zombies trying to go ahead and push this thing back and shut it closed as far as the ones that's pushing it down. Do they want it at the OTC? Remember, this thing was a 50-cent ticker for a little bit. So that could be the reason why. But again, this is going to be critical on all of our trading careers. It's negative, and their guidance is saying we're going to be worse than here. So better than what they reported, but worse than what anticipated. So they got to fix their problems. And mind you, we're coming up to it. It's on February 19th. Maybe wait for the earnings if you have shares. If you have options, then maybe consider repositioning because you might get some cheaper prices later. It just depends on how you want to play it. But for the most part, wait a minute. Did they? Oh my God, they reduced revenue. That's what kicking it butt. Look at that revenue. They're anticipating they're going to get 578. Let me see if that's how it is historically. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. So that one was 1 billion. So they're losing revenue. And they're guiding to lose more revenue. So that's probably what it is. So if they keep losing revenue, what's the next thing that they got to do? They got to cut costs by doing jobs and stuff like that. So it's going to be very critical. Let's see what happens. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rod. I am so sorry. But yeah, wait for it to kind of catch a base, average, maybe shave off, and then see what happens. All right, let me get up out of here because it looked like the knuckleheads are trying to get my attention right now.
I'm not a knucklehead.
Yeah, he's not a knucklehead. All right, you're right. All right, so I appreciate each and every one of y'all, and we'll get back on here maybe later on this afternoon. Depends on what the market does. All right, so y'all have a great day.
Daddy.